Hello, this is an extra video showing off some of the extra stuff included in Shenmue 2, which is actually pretty neat. But the first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to try and start a new game while I have Disc 4 loaded in. Now naturally this makes the Dreamcast ask for you to put in Disc 1, but as you know, whenever you get the disc change screen, if you press the R button you can cycle through these like hidden CG artworks, and for Disc 1 it gives you a picture of Landy and Shenhua, which is pretty neat, I guess. Okay, so on to Disc 4. Disc 4 contains, as well as the super short chapter, it also has the bonus stuff. It has the digest movie, which I've already shown off, that just sums up Shenmue 1 in about 15 minutes. And the Shenmue collection is where all the interesting bonus stuff is. The first thing we're going to look at is this, classified images. It's actually just a video of Shenmue on the Sega Saturn. So you can see how it looked very early on in development. You unlock this movie once you complete the game once. You can see here that the game seems to start off before Ryo's dad dies, so you would have had a chance to maybe speak to him, who knows. As you can see here, you can kind of see that a lot of the game hasn't really changed at all. I mean, aside from the 32-bit graphics, the Hazuki Dojo looks pretty much the same. Character designs look more or less the same, except for Ryo's lack of a leather jacket. Oh, I guess they were still working on that animation. I think there's a quote from Yu Suzuki somewhere regarding the Sega Saturn version that he was pleased with the results he got from the Sega Saturn, like graphically, but I think he admitted that the Sega Saturn was very difficult to work with, so I guess it's no wonder they jumped ship to the Dreamcast when the opportunity came. And here you can see some scenes from Shenmue 2. So you can kind of see how far the game was along in development before they jumped ship to the Dreamcast. See, the Yantin apartments look pretty much exactly the same. Not a lot has changed. As you can see, that this is the mountain hiking section from the end of the game. So it seems kind of like that a lot of this had already been planned or made in several stages, I guess. And there you go, an interesting look at what could have been. Right, so, there are some other things on the fourth disc on the Shenmue collection. You have the battle mode, which allows you to challenge any one of the Street Fighters you've challenged during the main game. And you can see here at the bottom, this is the Demon's Triangle. It's a throw move. It's the move we learned at the end of Disc 3 from Su Ying. It's pretty difficult to do. It's like back, forward, and then like dodge and throw at the same time, and I can never do it properly. But yeah, just to show that you can use that move in the game, or rather, this is the only way of using it, because by the time you learn it, you hit disc 4 and there's no more fights. So the only way you can actually use it is to go into this street fighting mode. And you can re-challenge any one of these guys, including Master Baihu, which I think is kind of strange because I never really considered him a street fighter, but there he is. You can fight him. If you keep beating him, then you can see in the corner, you can see his difficulty level, and that will increase the more you beat him. But honestly, it's pretty hard anyway. Even on level 1. But yeah, it's a nice feature. If you ever want to re-challenge the guys, you can do so here in the 4th disc. It's like a fighting game, except, you can only pick one character, so not a very good fighting game, but hey, at least they give you the option. Okay, so what else does the Shenmue collection have? Well, it has the Shenmue games. That includes all the mini-games you got to play during the main game. That includes QTE title, Excite QTE 2, the slot machines, Lucky Hit Museum, and the darts. So yes, you can, revisit these great games if for some strange reason you liked playing darts or slots. It's a bit strange to give you the option of playing slots, because I just don't really see the appeal of it. I mean, don't get me wrong, slots is pretty boring in the main game as well, but, in the Shenmue collection, I just don't see a point in getting it, because the only real incentive of using these slot machines is, to win prizes. And you get prizes by winning a certain amount of tokens. Because this uses tokens, it's not real money. If there was, if this was, actual gambling and real money was involved, then I could probably, it might seem a bit more appealing to me, but at this stage it just costs so much to play these things, and your reward is just tokens. Oh, and I'm just showing off here that the slot machine house is the one place where the jukebox is actually useful. Because I've mentioned before that a jukebox is kind of dumb because the music only plays when you're just kind of standing around it, and as soon as you start something like an event or leave the area, then the music stops. But the music keeps playing while you're playing, slots. So you can just listen to this instead of the usual slot house music, which is alright. I mean, who doesn't like the Afterburner theme song? But yeah, again, you can get prizes, unique, collectibles from the slot house, but again, it costs so much money to actually, buy all the tokens and then spend them all, and the chances of actually winning anything is so low. Although I decided to play it here because, when you access the slots via the Shenmue collection, you're not using your own money, you're just given $500 to start with, and to see how far you get with that. And hey look! Jackpot! And there you go. If you ever wanted to know what a jackpot looks like, there you go. Big sirens appear and says, "Hey, you won! Good job, now keep playing." But I won't really bore you with this because it doesn't really go anywhere. But hey, you can play slots if you really, really want to for some reason. So, the other game in the Shenmue collection that you can play is darts. You can challenge darts against these opponents. I haven't unlocked all the darts opponents because you have to challenge them at least once in the main game for them to appear here. But honestly, once you unlock Barry Jones, who cares?
Nanika?
Yeah, すいません.
And you might remember this guy. I didn't challenge him because I knew he'd beat me, but I might as well show him off here because now nothing's at stake.
2ミリばかりブレたか。ミーは香港ダーツ協会の名誉会員でね、掛け金50ドルで特別にコーチしてあげるよ。5本ずつ投げて得点の多い方が勝ち。120点、240点を出すとさらに5本ずつ投げられる。どうする？ミーと勝負できるなんてめったにないことだよ。
わかりました。その勝負受けます。
よろしい。いいかい？ダーツってのはこうやるんだよ。
My god, his mustache is amazing. But yes,
少し横ぶれしたな。
the good thing about the Shenmue collection is you can challenge these guys, and the game just gives you like $500 just to see how far you get with it. You know, so it's not your own money, and there's nothing to lose. So you can just see how well you do against the snob, as the game calls him.
ほう。
Oh come on, that was totally a bullseye.
ま、よしとするか。
And well, this game goes on for a few minutes, so let's just skip to the last start throw.
少し横ぶれしたな。
As you can see, he's a pretty good aim.
得点クリアか。ま、当然の結果だけどね。
Well, I already know that he's too far ahead of me for me to beat him,
最後
so
の一本。
screw it.
ああ。スタンスが広すぎるんだよな。
終わりか。
どうやら、ユウの負けだね。50ドルは、ミーの美しいホームの見学代だと思いな。これはどうも。確かに。もしよかったら、もう少しレッスン受けてくかい？
せっかくですが、やめておきます。
そうか。それは残念だな。このミーが教えてあげようって言ってるのに。
You know what the scary thing is, right? That this isn't even the high stakes bet. Like, you know how Barry Jones got really difficult once we challenged him with $100? Imagine this guy at $100. He'd just like completely like throw darts in your face and kill you or something, I don't know. But yes, the last interesting thing is all these arcade games. You can play the classic Sega Yu Suzuki arcade games, and they're all available for free. Free play. Look at the bottom. Free play. Doesn't cost you any money. You don't even have to like get up, wake up in the morning, and then walk into the arcade in the game, and then use that like your Hong Kong dollars. You can just play it for free, which is good because these are good games. Anyway, yes, you have to actually play these games in the main game to unlock them in the Shenmue collection, which makes sense, I suppose. Which is why I played Hang On when we were in the Yellowhead building, because I actually missed that on my first playthrough, so I never unlocked it. So that pretty much covers everything in the Shenmue collection. Yeah, it's mostly just like all the mini games and cool bonus stuff from the main game. But that's not all the extra stuff the game offers, because if you put in your Dreamcast game discs into your PC and load them up, you get some cool shit! The disc 1 has a bunch of these animated little graphics, and these are basically the little icons that would appear on the VMU, on the little memory card display on the Dreamcast. Except I don't think they were ever used. These never appear on your memory card, so I guess they just kind of made a bunch of these and never used them, so they decided to put them here. But yes, they're little animated pictures of the Shenmue characters. Ain't that adorable? You can even see here they included a bunch of like NPCs from the game, which you probably don't even know the names of, because Ryo never says their names, because he doesn't know these people, but you might recognize them. There's the two old people were the guys who playing music once they arrived in Hong Kong. There's Barry Jones and the other darts playing people. There's two butchers who are really angry and fighting each other all the time. And there's the Poison Brothers, and I think these two guys are at the Dojang Diner. There's the mother and daughter that got off the ferry with you when she got to Hong Kong. And there's these Mongolian guys who I think were performing in the Golden Shopping Arcade in Wan Chai. Disc 2 is probably the most interesting one because it contains character profiles and concept art from the game. It even includes these captions written by the game developers themselves. As you can tell from the footage of the Sega Saturn version, they originally designed Ryo Hazuki with just a white t-shirt. And they realised that he didn't really stand out from the rest of the characters in the game, so they gave him the leather jacket to make him more distinctive. And they also gave him the leather jacket because they determined that the game took place in winter and they needed to keep Ryo warm, I guess. Also, originally, Ryo's mother was supposed to appear in Ryo's flashbacks, but I guess they never really followed through with that. The design for Shenhua is interesting because she was originally designed as not as the main heroine of the game, as she is now, but as some girl that Ryo meets in Tibet. However, the producer liked the design so much that they decided to make her the main heroine of the game. Originally, Su Ying was supposed to wear some sort of coat whenever she was outside the Manmo temple. Joy apparently was a character who went through a lot of changes through development. For example, she started off being a brunette before they changed her to a blonde. They also planned to have this rose as a tattoo on her chest. She was also going to wear a chopper suit and a bicycle helmet while riding a motorcycle. Fang Mei was another character who went through a lot of changes through development, mainly because they didn't really have a set personality for her. They also had this problem where she was actually designed to be a Japanese shrine maiden. Of course, they realised that Japanese shrine maidens don't exist outside of Japan, so they kind of had to work around that a bit. Lan Di was originally going to have long, flowy hair, but they had to tie his hair back because that was too difficult to render with all the polygons involved. Gui Zhang apparently was a lady's favourite. I guess he had a lot of fangirls, but what's interesting about Gui Zhang, I guess, is that his design was originally an alternate outfit for Lan Di. You know what's funny? That Wong wasn't supposed to be an orphan. He was originally a boy who lived with a family who aspired to be a bad guy like Ren, but they decided to rewrite him into being an orphan for some reason or another. But here's something that's interesting. Apparently there's a character in Shenmue 2 who was originally designed to be Wong's mother. Now of course she isn't Wong's mother anymore, because he's an orphan, but who could it be? Who was going to be Wong's mother? Now Shenmue 2 has a lot of characters, so there's a lot of people we could choose from, but my guess goes to this lady here because she kinda looks like a mum. That's just my opinion though, but it might not be. I just don't know who else it could be. I mean, could it be Joy? She kinda has this motherly tenderness towards him. No, Joy's like 18 years old anyway, she's too young. Maybe her? No, she's too young as well. This lady? Now she already has a kid. No, I don't think so. No. Nah. No, there's no way she could be. Oh god, no! You know what, never mind. I guess we'll never know who's Wong's mother's supposed to be. Now Disc 3 of Shenmue 2 contains the Shenmue CG Gallery, which is basically computer-generated images. Basically these were images originally used for some kind of Shenmue calendar, but now they're available to download and use as wallpapers in glorious, wonderful, fantastical 1024x768 resolution for your 4x3 CRT monitor. And last but not least, Disc 4 contains a couple of promotional trailers for you to watch. None of these are as good as the forklift trailer in Shenmue 1, you know, the really heavy metal one, but I might as well just leave you with these trailers. And that's pretty much everything explained, so I'm going to go now. See you later, losers!
Yeah! 無駄にするなって言ってんのよ。
葉月亮さんですよね。私秀英さんのお手伝いをさせてもらってます。クン・ファンメイです。
私たちの両親を殺された。兄は今のあなたのように仇を追って、そして邪道に落ちた。あなたは邪道に落ちてはいけない。